We all have days when we feel a bit off or tired, but sometimes those feelings start to linger longer than they should. Mental health is a journey, and recognizing the subtle shifts in your well-being is the first step toward finding your way back to balance. One of the most common signs is losing interest in things that once brought you joy and excitement in your daily life. Maybe you find yourself staring at your favorite book or a musical instrument and feeling absolutely nothing where there used to be passion. The world might start to feel monochromatic, as if the vibrant colors of your hobbies and small pleasures are slowly fading away into gray. When your mental health is declining, even the simplest tasks can start to feel like you are trying to climb a massive mountain. The noise of the world becomes louder, and the demands of daily life start to press in on you from every single direction. You might look at a basic to-do list and feel a sudden wave of panic because every item looks like an impossible challenge. This feeling of being overwhelmed often leads to social withdrawal, where you start to pull away from the people who care about you. It is not that you do not love them anymore, but the energy required to interact and perform socially feels completely drained. You might find yourself ignoring calls or canceling plans at the last minute because staying in bed feels like the only safe option. Walking through the world can feel lonely, even when surrounded by others, as you choose to turn away into quieter and shaded areas. Other signs include changes in your sleep patterns or appetite, and a constant feeling of physical exhaustion that rest cannot fix. You might also notice that you are more irritable or frustrated with small things that usually would not bother you at all. If any of this sounds familiar, please know that these are just signals from your mind asking for a little extra care and attention. Acknowledging these signs is a brave first step, and it does not mean you are failing. It means you are human and sensitive. Taking a deep breath and reaching out to a friend, a family member, or a professional can make a world of difference today. You are never alone in this struggle, and there are people who want to listen and help you through the darker times. Mental health isn't a destination, it is a journey. Sometimes the path gets foggy and we do not even realize we have lost our way. It starts with small changes. A subtle shift in the colors of your world and a quiet dimming of the things that once brought joy. One of the first signs is losing interest in your passions. You look at your hobbies and feel a strange sense of indifference. Things that used to spark excitement now feel like chores. You might pick up a book only to set it down a moment later. That spark of creativity or curiosity seems to have vanished, leaving behind a quiet void that is difficult to explain to others. Then comes the feeling of being overwhelmed. Tasks that used to be simple suddenly feel like climbing a mountain without any equipment. The weight of daily life begins to stack up. An unwashed dish or an unanswered message feels like a monumental failure. You find yourself sitting in silence, unable to figure out where to start. The world feels loud even when the room is completely still. Social withdrawal often follows. It is not that you do not care about your friends, it is just that interaction requires too much energy. You see the notifications and the invitations, but you turn the phone over. The silence feels safer than the effort of a conversation. You might feel isolated even when you are not alone. You watch the world continue while you feel stuck in place. A darkening ink wash seems to separate you from the rest of the world, creating a barrier that feels impossible to cross. It is important to remember that these feelings are signals. They are your mind's way of telling you that it needs a break. Acknowledging the struggle is the first step toward healing. You do not have to carry the weight of the world by yourself. Please remember that you are not alone. Reach out to someone you trust. There is hope in the shadows and help is available. Taking care of your mind is just as vital as taking care of your body. Be patient with yourself as you find your way back. Sometimes the changes in our mental well-being don't happen all at once. They arrive like a subtle shift in the wind, barely noticeable at first. Recognizing the signs that your mental health is declining is the first step toward finding your way back to yourself and your inner peace. One sign is emotional fragmentation. You might feel like a collection of scattered pieces, unable to connect with the world or those around you. It is as if the puzzle of your life is missing vital pieces, leaving you drifting in a void where emotions feel distant and incomplete. You may also find that focusing on simple tasks becomes an uphill battle. Words on a page begin to blur, losing their meaning and clarity. Time seems to move at a different pace, either racing ahead or standing still, while you remain stuck in a fog of mental exhaustion. Another indicator is a sudden struggle with impulsivity. You might find yourself reacting without thinking, losing the grip you once had on your actions. This inner turmoil often manifests as physical restlessness, a constant need to move, tap, or pace, driven by an anxious energy you cannot quiet. When your mental health declines, you might feel ungrounded. It is the sensation of losing your footing, as if the earth beneath you is slipping. The world around you may start to feel surreal or unstable, making it difficult to find a solid foundation in your daily reality and routine. But remember, there is a path back to balance. Reconnecting with nature and simple, grounding activities can help stabilize those shifting lines of your life. You are not alone in this journey. Reaching out for support is a sign of strength, and help is always available when you're ready.